Oh, you're right.
Yeah, that's right.
Talking about dams. Now, we all have heard Mr. Doblow talking about, I'm only going to mention his name once, about this Gap Dam. Now, I want to tell you about the Gap Dam. The Gap Dam was designed by a fellow by the name of Dr. Bradfield.
Yeah, and he was the one that wanted to drive with the water.
Yes, he wanted to put it back out in the middle of the slope.
Yeah.
That is dead right. And what I'm going to tell you here is a flow on from what he talked about. Now, Bradfield, when he came here, he looked at the gap, and it was so obvious. The gap was so close, it come into a tight area, so consequently it would be quicker and easier to dam it, and it'd get back and forth.
Back out.
Yeah. Three big problems with what he found out and identified. Number one is that 70,000 acres of some of the best farming land close to Rockland, close to rail, close to roads, will go underwater. Now that's real handy. The second thing is that where the foundations for the wall must go, it's decomposed rock. So consequently, to put a wall in for a dam of that size, it would inevitably let go. Yeah, it won't hold properly. So consequently, that was the second one. And the third one, the most important one, well, they're all important, but the third one was that out in the back of here, there's all that beautiful arable land, such as up the Dawson Callide valleys, out through to the plains out there behind, up near Clermont and all that up in there. All that beautiful black soil, flat, top farming country. We've got to get water there too. So what do you do with all this water down here? So what you've got, here's Fitzroy coming in down here, and the gap, let's just say in here, and this is the Gap Dam, the Fitzroy comes out here. And then once it gets out here, then you go off and you go into the Dawson River, and then from here, then you go up into the Connors, and then you've got the Isaacs, and the Mackenzie comes off, and then back in here. D and the Don come back in here, and the Nagoa is here, going back out, which we've already got the Fairburn Dam on. You all see that sort of thing. So we've got the Fairburn Dam here. Now, in here is where they want to put the gap, where they're talking about the gap. This water will back up in here, right? It'll give you, well, and that'll cover all that land, but then some of this land back in here, which is not really good farming land, will then be available for water. But it's not the top land, it's not the best land. But what do you do with all this land out here in the Dawson Valley, all this beautiful Dawson Valley country, Dawson Callide land, up here in the Isaacs Plains? What about all that? Beautiful farming country. Now in here is where they're going to put the Connors Dam. And the Connors Dam will then be able to let water down here and into the rock system. Now that stroke there represents Rookwood Weir. Now Rookwood Weir, I wish I'd brought the photograph with me, but Rookwood Weir will back water up in the river, right back up into all the farming country, in the pocket, beautiful. You know, in the pocket up there, there's either 7 or 8 centre pivots, but they only use 4 or 5 of them. Because if they grow the grain, or the product, the crop, with all of their centre pivots, they can't get it out. Because most of the year, there's water running over Rivers Lee Crossing, and they can't get out with their trucks. They've got nowhere to store it. And here we are, we've got this beautiful big area of farming land there, with I think it's 8 centre pivots they've got there, and they don't use them all because they can't get the produce out. That's ridiculous. On the Rookwood Weir, on the top of the weir, there will be a crossing to get those vehicles across all the transport.
So what you're saying, forget about the gap and go to Rockwood Weir.
Hey?
Are you saying forget about the dam and take it further up? Don't dam the gap.
No, it's not going to work. The gap is not going to work the way they're talking about it. As I say, there's 3 anomalies, and they're worse anomalies you can get. But there's another dam we've got to talk about. See, here's the Comet River comes in here. My map drawing is very bad, as you can see. But there's another big dam going to go in here, and it's called the Nathan Dam. And the Nathan Dam will allow water to flow down the Comet, down the Dawson, and get back into all this beautiful farming country, down through the Dawson Callide Valley. the Connors will have water come back down here. Now, along all these rivers, and certainly the Dawson, there's weirs. You know, there's a weir out there at Brellabar, there's weirs back up behind there, and those weirs, they are having water, if you like, locked. It's called a lock and release system. So they have water locked, so that all these farming areas along the rivers can all do the same thing will happen here, and down here we've got some as well. So consequently, and then you've got here the Fairburn Dam. With the Fairburn Dam, what you've got is you've got channels going out, which irrigate all that cotton country and all that beautiful farming country. And look at Emerald. Does anyone remember Emerald before the Fairburn Dam?
Oh, yes.
Exactly right. I went out there when I was 12. My grandfather and I went out in an F.J. Holden gig. It had holes in the floor. And we went to Sedgeford Station, an Alpha station to break in. It was on my Christmas holidays. And it took us all day to get there. Dirt road. We were covered in dust from the holes in the floor. And I'll never forget, we were just outside of Alpha, and there was a bloke there that had a grader working on the road. There was a bloke who must have stood there all day with this stop-go sign, and he stopped us and he must have thought, oh, I'll just come home and have a yarn. And he walked over to the grandfather and he said, how you going? And he said, not real bloody good, he said. He said, I've been driving all day. He said, dust all over us, he said, mongrel roads, he said, now get out of here about an hour from where we're going, he said, I've got to sit here and wait for you buggers. But look, what I'm trying to say to you is that what this is all about is called a keyline system. And what a keyline system does, now Bradfield identified this as well, and you were saying, someone here said about putting it over the range.
Bradford.
Yeah, Bradford. Well, this is what he was talking about. And the water, he was talking about getting more water and making it available to go over the range and go out the other side of the Drummond. Because see, this stuff here, it comes off Carnarvon Gorge. All that hard country up there in Carnarvon Gorge, all the hard country here on the range out there west of Emerald, I can't think of the name of it, but I should do. And then all this hard country back up in here, it's just like a roof. You remember when they built Fairburn Dam? They went home on the weekend, had their dozers still sitting, there's still machines sitting in the bottom of the Fairburn Dam. It started raining and they couldn't get them out. That's right. So consequently, at the end of the day, what you've got is these great catchment areas that are going to, and I must make this bigger here, that are going to catch water, and then as these areas here, these weirs, as they deplete, well then they'll let water down to refill those weirs, all the way back down into the city of Rockhampton.
That Nathan Dam was mooted years ago.
Exactly.
It fell over.
No, it didn't fall over.
What happened?
Joe said, now, you just said something that's dead right. So Joe W. Peterson had all these dams budgeted for. It didn't fall over. When Goss got in, he dismantled the budget. It's as simple as that. Queensland was free of that under Joe W. Peterson. He budgeted for all this here. As a matter of fact, the Fairburn Dam and all these weirs here and these other weirs down here were all built by Joe W. Peterson. And there hasn't been one weir and one dam built ever since. They debudgeted. Put the money elsewhere. And so, we've suffered for it. The Keyline system, what it's all about, this having all this water down here, you see, if when you want to put water out and irrigate this country out, see you later mate, and irrigate this country out here, you've got to pump it all out there. Imagine what it's going to cost to pump that water out there, but imagine what it's going to cost to put the pipes in to pump it out there. Massive money. But this way here, you've already got the water here, and the water is really released down the natural flow of the river. There's no pipes.
What I can't understand, they go on about the Murray-Darling watershed. Look what we've got, those tributaries.
Exactly.
Fitzroy. It has to be bigger than the Murray.
Well, it's not bigger, we're the second biggest, but we're not using it. And we haven't been given the tools to use it. And now they're talking about putting a tool in that's at the wrong end of the spectrum.
We've got a U-Butte, mate, from the railway of the Fitzroy.
Have you?
Oh, yeah, beauty.
I'd love to get a copy of that. Can I get a copy of that?
Yeah.
Because you see this here, at the end of the day, what this means is it's a natural gravity flow of water. And once you've stored it, it's one of the best catch and lock systems that you'll put in place. And it's all natural feed. And as this all depletes, as I said, as they've irrigated this land, they can let the water down and refill all of that and go down. Another very important thing, back in 1993, here in the city, if you remember, it was a very dry period, 93, 94. And we had very bad blue-green algal blooms. Now, I was the man there. And I used to go up in the night time, and I'd be waiting for the bloke at the treatment plant. I'd wake up through the night. I think to myself, he hasn't rung yet. But every night, I would think to myself, you're going to ring up and say he had to stop treating water because we just couldn't treat it anymore. That was my biggest nightmare. We never got to that stage. We got through. But what was happening was we had to get that bloom out of the water before you could even bath in it, let alone drink it. Now, if we had this system in place and we had a situation like that, you just let the water go. Flush the whole thing out into the sea. It's the greatest system you can put in place. And that's what I'm talking about when it comes to doing these sort of things. We've got to look at, and see, there's more dams up here in the Isaacs and the Mackenzie. There's more dams to go to work that Isaac Plains situation much better. But we've got to look at, and any government has to look at, the whole picture, not just one end of it.
Excuse me, I'll just have to go out and park to these streets. I don't want to get fired.
No, you're right. How long do they go? What are they, 2 hours?
2, 3.
Anyhow, so if you can understand what I'm saying, that's the Keyline system. Keyline system. So when they talk about the Rookwood Weir being a bathtub, the Rookwood Weir is not the dam. The Rookwood Weir is only part of the lock, one of the locks. There's a whole system of locks going down the river. It's only one. So too was Eden Dam. The dams is the Nathan, the Fairburn, the Connors, and these 2 dams that are finally going here. It's probably about a 9-year or 10-year program to put it in.
Oh, we'll be gone.
Yeah, I know, but the Connors is ready to go.
Oh, I'd like to
It's
still
showing.
be
No,
I'd like to still be
I'm not encouraging to go anywhere. But can you see what I'm saying? When you hear them say that the Rookwood Weir is a bathtub, Rookwood Weir is not the dam. Rookwood Weir is only part of the system. The dams are these here: Connors, Fairburn, Nathan, and the other dams that coincide with it. Thank you very much.
Do you think when they do this, do they listen to people who live there and know, as, you know, somebody gets a degree, don't they? They think they know where it should go. Do they ever get people's opinion who live out there and know what happens?
The government is doing that. The government is going to do this.
They're the people that know what happens.
Yeah, no, you're right, but the government is going to do this. But the government, instead of getting out and selling the full system, they're talking about one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Well, they should be talking about the whole thing and how the Rookwood Weir ties in with it. And that's why everyone is getting so misled about what's going on. Well, we got the range here that would stop that, but that was what Bradfield said. He wanted to then put the water over the range.
Wasn't Bradford the one that designed the Sydney Harbour Bridge?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
There was a write on him in the paper just recently, wasn't
That's right,
there?
yeah. That's right, just the other day.
Yeah, Monday or Tuesday.
But you know, at the end of the day, we've got to have a system that works the whole of the region, not just part of it. And that's what the federal and state government, well, federal mostly, federal government looking at, is doing the whole of the region.
They are actually doing that at the moment.
They're doing this, yeah. Well, they're working on the Connors and they're working on the
They should be telling us all about that.
Well, they are. But the trouble is, there's another certain bloke that's running around talking about a dam down here, and he's talking about that being a dam, and that is not a dam. That's a weir. The dam is there.
What's the difference between a dam and a weir? I'm done. What's the difference between a dam and a weir?
Oh, a weir sort of more or less holds the water up in an area.
Like
a dam blocks it up and backs it back out.
came over the weir and she drowned that little girl.
That's right, yeah, the barrage.
It's like a big,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's correct. That's the difference. The weir just holds it up. It's a little bit bigger than what the barrage is. The barrage separates the salt from the flesh. What the weir does, it's a little bit higher, and it goes to the top banks here. But the dam blocks up the whole, and backs it out over the whole of the country.
Yeah, pick up up there for dams.
Yeah, that's right. Well, thank you very much, ladies. Thank you for that chance to talk to you.